we on now, Rob, or is something going to turn on? Okay. You let me know when we're live. We are live right now. Good afternoon, folks. My name is Dave Gagne. I'm the athletic director of the college. Welcome to our press conference featuring our women's soccer program and our men's soccer program, who both won the Yankee Conference Championship and are going to Nationals, the USCAA Nationals in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's my privilege to introduce our two coaches, Colonel McCormick, who is the men's soccer coach, and Robert Rodriguez, who is the women's soccer coach. And I will turn it over to them to introduce their players, and then we'll take questions.
On my left, I have Isidoro Dominguez, who's a second-year captain, and Arnaud Nyagasaza, who is also our second-year captain.
We have Audrey Dillman, defender, who's third-year captain, and Lakin Hink, midfielder, who is a third-year captain.
Let's open up for questions.
Yes, I'll go. Lakin and Audrey, Roger Philippon, CMCC Public Affairs, retired, semi-retired. Lakin and Audrey, first question for you. The season you just had, how about that? How would you describe this season? Or how would you characterize it in a few words?
I'd probably characterize this season as unforgettable. We definitely exceeded our expectations from last season, and we've just been giving it all we have.
I also agree, unforgettable. I think in the beginning of preseason, we definitely felt a change from this year to last year. So I knew we were going to do something great this year, but it was definitely a little unexpected, and we exceeded our expectations.
Hey everybody, Mark Turcott from WIGY Radio. I have a question for Kieran. This is your second trip to the Nationals?
Yes, second year in a row.
What did you learn last year, and what do you plan to change for this year?
Yeah, last year was a wonderful experience with a group of guys that were technically very gifted. My biggest takeaway was that in order to compete at that next level, we needed guys that were as equally technically gifted, but a team with a little bit more athleticism. And that was the big focus. And I felt that the core group of players that returned filled that. And then the recruits that we brought in are also very athletic as well as being technically very good players. And so I think we are now in a better position to compete to win a national title. And that is our focus.
Lee Horton from the Sun Journal. So this question, I guess, is for both teams at separate times. But what would you guys say has been the key component of your successful seasons this year? I guess start with the women's team, then the men's, or either way.
Yeah, I would say first off, their fitness level. They've got a conditioning level that is just through the roof. I mean, we've always been a pretty fit team. This year, everybody just really bought into it on a much bigger level. And that's really driven us through the year. I mean, we can outrun teams. We don't sub a lot. They're able to do that and come back the next day and do it again. That we instituted a different playing style this year after getting eliminated the last 2 years in the preliminary round of the playoffs. As a coaching staff, we looked at that, and we became very stat driven this year. So we looked at stats. We built practices based on the stats we were tracking in game. And then we instituted a very quick strike style of play this year, which really made the difference. With the players we have that have the ability to do that, that really worked this year. That, and on the defensive side, I thought we were pretty good. So yeah, different style of play and just a very high conditioning level. Unless you guys want to add to that?
Sure. I would say one difference too is we are a family on this team. I know every team says that, but it's really true about our team, and trusting each other on and off the field was really key to our success this year.
Yeah, we noticed a lot with last year that our team chemistry just really wasn't the best, but we really worked on that, made a lot of changes, and I feel like our team chemistry really and our attitudes have really helped push us to be the best that we can be as a whole.
For me, I'm just so blessed to have a team of guys that they just love soccer. They love football. We've committed to play, in my mind, the right way, a very attractive brand of soccer, and these guys just buy into it so much. And it's at times it's hard to get them to stop. You know, we choose the late practice. We go from 7:30 usually to 9:30, and the coaching staff will leave and the lights will stay on, and half the team will stay and they'll work on their individual skills that they feel they need. And so I know that they really enjoy how we play. It's a very rewarding style of play, and I think that is one of the things that makes these guys so special and so unique, in that they're able to play this really attractive style of soccer. The other big part this year, more so than last year, I think there was a little bit more team cohesion. We got more guys that are living on campus, more guys that are hanging out off the field, and so that is also something that I have noticed. It wasn't necessarily a big focus of mine to have more guys on campus, but just to foster that team cohesion, which is so important. And I think that is one of the reasons that we've been able to have. You know, we were successful last year, but even more success this year.
I think our season started last year when we lost in semifinals. So we knew that this year was going to be special, and we knew that we had to give all we had to be in this position.
Yeah, I agree with Coach and Arnie. Pretty much like as Coach said, like just by us being as a family running for each other, that makes everything different, because everybody wants to run for everybody. So like we not gonna let our teammates behind, and that pushes like forward. That's why we reach the levels that we're reaching pretty much.
The other thing we have this year that we didn't have last year is Instagram. We got locked out of our Instagram account last year. This year we don't, so now all of a sudden the guys want all their pictures and highlights posted. So I think that little bit of extra effort to get some of those goals and assists and plays on the highlight reel has helped also.
Coach Rodriguez, maybe we'll start with you, and then Coach McCormick, if you'd like to chime in as well. What's your approach going to be? Any particular strategy you have going into the tournament that you might want to share or describe for us?
Yeah, we've been pretty good all year about not looking past the current game. And it's not always easy to do that, but I think this team in particular this year has been really good at just focusing on the current game. So we're not looking beyond that. We're preparing for UC Claremont, started watching video on them. We've started studying how they play. They haven't seen the video yet, but they will soon. But we'll put in a game plan for each team that we play. But we've been really good at not looking past the current game. So we're focused on Friday. For us, it's a one-game tournament until Friday, you know, and then we start looking at the next game. We've done that throughout the season, especially last weekend with the playoffs tournament. We focused on NHTI for Saturday. We didn't even think about the next game until we got done with that one, and then we turned our attention to who we were going to play. So yeah, I mean, I think right now the plan is to study how they play, be able to counter that. We've been working on some of that in practice all week, and yeah, we take it one game at a time and never look beyond the next the current game. I
think last year we were the 6th seed, and we definitely had teams. Our first game, UC Claremont, who were the 2 seed, and they were looking past us. So we had a little bit of an element of surprise, and we were really prepared, had an amazing game plan that the boys enacted, and we got a really good result in that game, and then unlucky to lose to the 3rd seed, Berkeley, that eventually got to the final. I think this year we're not going to fly under the radar. So my belief is that other teams are going to prepare for us a little bit. So we have a couple different styles of play, things that we have been putting in or practicing and can play with a different style, while also taking a look at how the teams we're playing, how they set up, what is their tactical style, do they have any tendencies that we can exploit. Just with the skill set and the quality of the players that we have, it's definitely something that we can look to do. Then just the mindset and just knowing that for us, the fact is that if we're going to win, we got to win 3 games in a row, and that's a challenge regardless of the level. So just preparing the guys to have that mental toughness to know that we got to play the first game, got to take care of business there, the second game, and hopefully that gets us to a final, and then anything can happen in a final.
This one's for the players. We'll start with Izzy. I've always been a fan of CM Athletics. I think the culture here is amazing, and I think Audrey mentioned it's a family here, and that's real. It feels real. Mm-hmm. And I hope the answer to this question changes over the next week and a half. But Izzy, can you tell us one memory from this soccer team that you will take with you when you leave CM?
One memory I would take if I had to pick, probably gotta be the boys vlog, the Instagram account we have, because pretty much every memory, everything that we do, practicing, like hotel ride, bus rides, everything, like it just put everybody together. Like everybody's laughing. It shows like how we really are, and I think that's gonna be like the memory that's gonna be stuck in my mind for so long.
We had a game against CM and they beat us 3-1. Most of us couldn't sleep for like a week, so we keep having nightmares. And when they came home, we gave them like really like the best game of their lives. We beat them 4-0, so that would be my my memory.
One memory I will not forget is when we beat Paul Smith 5-4 away there in basically a swamp. I remember we went in, not a lot of us wanted to be there. It was wet and raining. We were, it was not going to be the most fun game, but I remember telling each other just to have fun and go out there and do it. They were the #1 seed, so we were, we knew it was going to be a tough game, and we went out and won, and it was a really incredible feeling for all of us, and it was a really fun game to play.
One memory that I'll take with me from this season would be winning the championship game. As a player, that's all you could ever ask for. And as a player who's been playing my entire life, it's just, with this team especially, it's just something so unforgettable that I will never, I will always be very thankful to play with them and to have won that game with this specific team.
So this one's for Audrey. So you're one of the, there's multiple players that went to Oak Hill, right? What is about that program that prepared you guys for this, for college soccer?
I know a lot of my teammates and the ones that are here today, we all are very close. That program, we all grew up with each other since, we've been playing with each other since we were able to play. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And we've had a lot of alumni come to this school as well, and seeing how well they played here and how well they did here too. I think that's part of the reason why we chose to come here. And then again, I feel like the family also goes back to those days as well.
Okay. Yeah, and Rob, what is it about the Oak Hill players that you've liked?
Well, they always seem to be college ready when we got them. And we have 4 Oak Hill players on the team right now. We've always had Oak Hill players, for quite a few years. They're they just seem to be college ready. They come in, yeah, they have to adapt to our playing style, that kind of thing, but there's been less of a learning curve. For whatever reason, there's been less of a learning curve for them coming in here, and they've just adapted a lot quicker. That's been the case for pretty much all of them. So yeah, I mean, they just seem to be more college ready in every way when we get them.
Okay. And then I got a question for Isadora. So you're from Lewiston, right? And
Yeah.
Are your brothers on the team? Are they your brothers?
My
Okay.
both brothers
So
play for the team.
What's that?
I said my both brothers play for the team
Okay.
too.
Yeah, so you guys obviously a big role of the team, but like, what's it like being from Lewiston and playing, at this level for the college team, the nearby college team? Because it seems like there hasn't been a lot of Lewiston players until like the last 3 or 4 years, and then that's really kind of increased the level.
I mean, like, it's great to play at the college level, at the level that we are, especially coming from Lewiston. But I feel like that just helped us because we've been playing together, and that connection that we had, we just brought it here. I feel like that's why I brought the team level up there, because how connected that we are.
Okay, cool. And what was it like to see them win the state championship the other day?
Honestly, I have no words to that because it's just amazing. We're just like living at the moment, enjoying the happiness there. I don't know. It's just out of this world for me at the moment,
Okay.
pretty much.
Cool.
Coach Rodriguez mentioned the players being Oak Hill players being college ready, so that makes me think about asking the four of you, what academic program are you in, and how have you been handling balancing, the demands of your studies with all of the practice time and time, the games and traveling. I know it can get pretty heavy sometimes. Maybe Lakin, we'll start with you.
I'm in the social sciences major, which is a psychology major when I transfer. And I honestly find it so much easier to balance my work like when I'm in season. I find it easier to like manage my time, and you have to have a certain GPA to be able to play. So that has always motivated me even when I'm not in season, to prepare for the next season. So
I'm in the nursing program, so I have a lot on my plate. But Coach helps out a lot with that. He's very understanding. If I may need to miss a lift session for study time or something like that. Also, one of my other teammates is also in the program, so we lean on each other a lot. But like Lakin said, being in a sport helps out a lot, balancing your schedule. There's no room for procrastination, so it does help a lot, even though it might seem like it might not affect it as well. So
I'm in a business major, and I feel like soccer just helped me balancing everything out, be able to have my time to study, have my time to go to practice, have my time to work because I work too. So like, I feel like the soccer just helped me like organize everything, and it just kind of make my life easier. Of course, it's not easy to do all of that at the same time, but I feel like it just helped me to put my mind on a spot of like, yeah, you need to do this to be able to do that, to be able to do that. So like, I feel like it just helped me.
We do lift each other on and off the field, so we do have like study hall. So I know I'm good at one subject, and I can help my teammate, and my teammate they're good at something, they can help me. So and my major is criminal justice.
I have a question for Coach Rodriguez. I'd like to bring you back to the YSCC championship game against Albany. It was 4-1 at halftime. Seemed like you guys had the game well in hand. Didn't turn out that way. Albany came back to tie it up 4-4, and then obviously eventually CM pulled it out. But what did you learn about your team during that game?
Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't bring that one up, but yeah, it's the second time this season that happened. It happened at Paul Smith's too. We jumped out to a really good start against a good team. Went into halftime with pretty much a 3-goal lead in both of those games, and I don't think we felt that we could, we had it made at that point, because we talked about it at halftime, and the message to them was, think of it as a 0-0 game. But for whatever reason, we came out in the second half in both against Paul Smiths and Albany and didn't have that quick start. We started to get away from what we were doing successfully in the first half. We were trying to possess too much in the middle of the field, which is not our game, and we let them back in the game. So, but I think in both cases we had enough of, they were able to right the ship early enough that they could get it back. Yeah, the Albany game went down a little closer to the wire than I would have liked to see. I don't think at any one point, though, that the team felt they were losing control of it. And I think I give a lot of credit to this team for having that mental toughness, because I think in previous years we would have struggled with that, and we have. And I think this team can figure that out quickly enough. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but it made it a little more interesting for sure.
Hi, I'm Haley Jones, also with the Sun Journal. Circling back to the topic of team culture, all four of you said that was something that you worked to improve this season and was sort of the secret to your success. So what were some specific ways that you all as captains implemented that, or and ways that it will carry on for future teams?
I feel like, for example, for us, we do a lot of stuff during summertime with the team, with the previous guys that were in the team. So like we gather everybody together, schedule like few games, a few scrimmage with other schools, and like I feel like that helps. It's something that's gonna help us for the next season, to prepare us for the next season. So I feel like that's one of the reasons everything it looks that way for us.
We are teammates, but at the same time we are brothers. So we know that beside playing soccer, outside we need each other, so we have to be there for each other.
This summer we had lift sessions and captain ran practices, so that helped bring a lot of the freshmen in so they could get used to everyone. We also had a lot of returners this year, so I feel like that helped with the chemistry. We already kind of knew each other and played with each other for one season. We also had a lot of team nights, and we would go to each other's houses and just spend time with each other and get to know one another.
Yeah, like Audrey said, we did lifting and captain held practices all summer, and after those, a lot of us in between the lift and practice sessions, we would go and grab food and just like get to know each other off the field as well as on the field.
They boosted Aroma Joe's business quite a bit this year, I think.
It's funny, I was going to say the same thing about Applebee's after practice.
I'd like to ask the four players, what other sports have you played or maybe continue to play, and why is soccer your favorite sport, assuming it is?
I do play volleyball, and I grew up playing soccer. That's why it was my favorite. And my family play professional, so it's so hard to hide from soccer.
Honestly, I don't play any other sport. Soccer is the only sport pretty much I play. I sometimes come here in the gym, shoot the ball around, but it's not really a sport I say I would have played. But soccer is just like something I've been playing ever since I was a kid, like in my grandmother's backyard, just like me and my cousins, my brothers, we just been playing there, and just like I just grew up with that. And since then, I fell in love with the sport. Plus, my older brother, he influenced me like to watch soccer more than I used to before, and like I just got stuck with it. It's just been my passion since then.
Besides soccer, I used to play basketball. I also had the opportunity to play basketball at the collegiate level. But after meeting with Coach Rob and also the team and getting to meet them, this is basically why I picked soccer. I also love them both equally.
In high school and all the way up through, I played softball, basketball, and soccer. I played both travel softball and soccer, but I was always just drawn to soccer, probably because it was the first sport that I'd really started. But since I could walk, I was kicking a ball around. So
Trent Krim, The Independent. Previous to covering you guys, the only soccer I ever knew was what I saw on Ted Lasso. I'm a American football guy, coached for 25 or so years. But I just want to thank all you players, the players backing me as well, and the coaches for helping us bring this sport to the masses. As you know, we're streaming to families all over the world. It's fantastic. And your help in making us number one, as well as you guys both number one, I'm very thankful for that. And thanks for bearing with an old American football guy. And thankfully, I was smart enough to bring Rob Kennedy along to call the games, who was fantastic. And I just want to thank everybody, Dave and all the administration. It's been an honor to cover you kids and coaches. Glad you got the Trent Krim thing. I had to look it up. Make sure I got it right.
This one is for the players. We'll start with Lakin. Can you describe Coach Rodriguez's style for us? And then we're going to see if he agrees with you.
Oh, boy.
Coach's style of coaching, I would describe as I would describe as tough love, because he pushes us to be our best, but he also doesn't allow us to get down on ourselves. If we make a mistake, you turn around and you fix that mistake. You don't ponder over it for the next 5 minutes while the rest of your team's playing. So he definitely gets on us, but in the best way possible.
Yeah, I second that. If he's not getting on you, it means he doesn't see anything in you. So it is tough love, but he means well and it works. I personally like that type of style of coaching. It helps me get better as a player, and I think a lot of the other girls agree with that as well.
Coach, your rebuttal.
They're probably right. I treat them like adults. They're adults when we get them. I treat them like adults. I don't try to micromanage their lives. And we make it a point not to overcoach in a game. You won't see us coaching a lot in a game. We do try to do that in practice because they've got to figure things out on the field. So they have to be independent thinkers out there, solve their problems on the field. So, yeah, I mean, they're treated like adults, and we try not to overcoach them. We fix the things that need to be fixed. We teach them what they need to learn, and then kind of let them develop, through that. So.
Okay, where do I start? So basically, we even have a joke for one type of coach style play. We call it combination, but we say with the French accent, and he likes to play through balls, that type of style. I say coach doesn't have a specific type of style of play, because we use different ones depending on who's in the pitch, what kind of players is on the ball. So it really depends on a specific player. But the ones I say coach likes to use the most is the combination, the through balls, playing through our striker, because it's working. He worked the whole season. He scored 26 goals. So I feel like that's our type of play, pretty much.
We've been with him for 2 years, so he's a hardworking coach, caring. He had to make sure that before you come on the pitch, you mentally and physically ready. There's a lot of going on outside, in real life, so you have to make sure the players are good. And he's a fun coach.
So I was just thinking about how much fitness we were going to do between now and our first game. So they did good. So not as much as maybe they could have earned. But yeah, I think for me, it's just about building relationships and knowing that there's so much that happens off the field, and they're a great group of guys, and I think that it's very special for us to have Munzing Media broadcast our games. We have I know Izzy says he's from Lewiston, but he's originally from Angola, and Arno's from Burundi, and we have players from England and from Rwanda. My family is in Ireland, so we really are like a multinational team, and to have people just be able to watch is really special. And for me, it's also like a big recruiting tool. I tell the players, hey, your families can watch, and there's going to be commentary, and it may not be always spot on, but they make a good effort, and it's a great thing. So I do thank you guys for doing that for us also, and to the guys, that was an interesting answer on my style of coaching. So.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. I'd like to thank Lee Horton for the Sun Journal. Thanks for coming out. Mark Turkoff and WIGY, and Roger Philippon, ex-CM superstar. I'd like to thank our women's soccer team for being present. Thank you. And the boys, the men's soccer team, thank you for coming. Especially like to thank our players, and really like to thank our coaches. You're only successful as the coaching staff that you have. And at CM, we've built a culture of great coaching. And I'd like to thank both these guys who are leading their team to Nationals. And I suspect we'll do very well at Nationals. In terms of Munzing Media and all they do for us, for all those folks out there, we're the only college in the state of Maine that films all our games, broadcasts all our games live. No other school does that. And it helps in recruiting, it helps in retention, and it helps in public relations. We have great friends with the Sun Journal. Lee, thank you very much for all your support over the years. And thanks for all our fans out there that follow us. Give you some concept, we average between 700 and 1,000 people watching our broadcasts every game. So it's pretty impressive numbers. Thanks for our team, and off to Pennsylvania we go. Thank you all very much.
Good job, boys.
Good job.
Rob Munzing, Munzing Media. Just want to thank everybody for watching, and you can watch the games. You'll have to check out the national website streaming schedule, but the games will be streamed. Thank you, everybody.
Same thing as always.
Catch the front of the net.
All those little things to make you what you are.
0, 3, 1, 2, 3, 0.
Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Sit right here.